All right, let's track the next round, likely impacting us over the next few hours. It's pretty quiet across the area right now, but obviously on the left side of your screen, you can see the leading edge. The next batch of rain and thunderstorms getting a little bit closer. Now, all of those maroon boxes, those polygons, those aren't tornado warnings. These are actually flood warnings right now, and you can see those continuing to work their way up that I-44 corridor between Oklahoma City and Tulsa. I think flooding is going to be a concern for us over the next couple of days, in addition to that potential of some severe weather as well. This is all tracking towards the northeast, so that's our next batch of rain and storms. The question now becomes, when does it arrive? Here's Futurecast, 1 o'clock in the morning. We got some scattered activity generally south of I-40, maybe a couple of spotty showers north, but the bulk of that likely remaining just off to our west, probably moving into the East Oklahoma area. Let's say 1, 2 o'clock this morning, and then of course moving into West Arkansas shortly thereafter that. This is 3 a.m. what Futurecast predicts. I can't point it out enough. These are computers. They're not too smart. They're just tools, right, that we use in a part of the tool chest. I do think it has a decent handle on the timing of this specific batch, give or take an hour or two on either side. That's going to continue overnight. Severe weather potential with this, damaging winds and hail, the primary most likely concerns. Tornado risk is low, not necessarily zero, as it hasn't been the last couple of days. Flooding, of course, going to be a concern here for us as well. Here's what it predicts for us by 7:30 tomorrow morning. A lot of us probably are okay the first part of the morning in terms of rain chances, but you're still going to want the rain gear, no question about it. Our next round likely moving in from the west. The timing here is going to be a little bit different. First, let's start with tonight's severe weather risk. This is through really 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Level 2 for all of us here. When you peel back the layers, drill down into the specifics, it's hail, high wind, flooding, our primary, most likely concerns. The tornado risk, I'm going to keep it low, but keep in mind it was low this morning too. And we had that rotation that prompted that tornado warning in Benton County. May or may not have produced that damage there and grab it. So while it's low, it's not necessarily zero. No reason to be necessarily alarmed by it, but I just want you to know that there is at least a non-zero potential. Now, after 7 o'clock through tomorrow evening, this risk zone comes into effect from the Storm Prediction Center. Also a level 2 for many of us, and I would expect largely most of the same hazards. Let's talk timing for tomorrow. This is going to be 2:30 in the afternoon, moving into East Oklahoma. And you can see that little line of storms is packing a bit of a punch. You got a lot of red, little purple there. You probably got some damaging straight line winds coming out of the strongest part of the storm. This is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Again, timing, give or take an hour or so. I think the general takeaway that you want for tonight is we're looking at storms in the afternoon, potentially some rain lingering into the first part of tomorrow evening, which very well could be moderate to heavy at times. Slowly but surely, it will taper off by tomorrow evening, and then we'll start to see some drier weather work our way. Over the last 24 hours, Fayetteville picking up almost 3/4 of an inch, a little more than 3/4 of an inch of rain, almost a half inch at XNA, a little shy of 4/10 of an inch in Rogers. Not a whole lot in Podo, not a whole lot in Fort Smith. I think we're going to get a decent amount. In fact, the heaviest of rain is likely to come tonight into early Thursday morning. Now, don't necessarily hone in too much specifically on where those higher totals are. I don't think it's doing a decent enough job of depicting where those heaviest axes of rainfall sets up. The takeaway from this model data is many of us picking up around 2, perhaps as high as 3-4 inches of rain on top of what we've already seen. So no surprise, everybody's under a flood warning, especially those folks here in green, which is all of the 5 News viewing area. Want some good news? I love passing along good news. Mother Nature's made that really difficult lately, but finally, we're looking at some more pleasant weather. This is a phenomenon that we call the Omega Block, and it gets its name because the overall jet stream and the overall weather pattern looks very symbolic of the actual Greek symbol omega. High pressure keeping our skies nice and blue. What's even better about the Omega Block is you got a low pressure on the west coast, low pressure on the east coast, which locks that high pressure kind of into place for a few days. And when it looks like that on the 7-day forecast, it's going to be quite nice. Saturday, Sunday, perfect timing for some good weekend weather. And it does look like we'll carry over some drier, nice weather the first couple of days of next week before that springtime pattern returns, with additional chances of rain and storms. So that's what your 10-day forecast is going to show for Northwest Arkansas. Weather impact alert for your Wednesday, really through early Thursday morning. But I do think the second half of Thursday is probably going to be a little bit better shape. Temperatures are going to warm up if that happens. Those clouds break, sun shines. Thursday's not a bad day. Fridays doesn't look to be an absolute washout, but there is going to be a chance of rain Friday as a weak disturbance makes its way through the area. And then that Omega Block sets in. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it good weekend weather in Oklahoma and Arkansas. And honestly, after the last several weekends,
we deserve it.
Yeah. And I'm going to enjoy it.
It's going to be a noisy night tonight, maybe.
Yeah, I just started a pot of coffee, so
oh, okay,
I'm
good.
set on
All right.
that.